We're back. We're still in Monterey, and I've got some decisions to make. The first one is being thrust upon me. It was in the works, and that is the splitting up of me and the comrade. Our goal was to get to a place with a more temperate climate and kind of a more lax approach to things. Outlets, parks, people out and about, not afraid of like junkies and homeless. And we found that. What we didn't find was a shelter. As you guys know from past videos, there's this referral system. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. It's very bureaucratic, and it seems like these bennies are on the way out. I have about 2 more months of food stamps, and I've got to start figuring out what I'm gonna do because I can't get an exemption. I would have to do the 20 hours minimum a week of volunteering, 80 hours a month. And until I get kind of settled into an area where I don't have to bop around from place to place with all my stuff upon my back, I don't really foresee myself being able to get into a position volunteering. And I don't even know what that's going to look like. It's very possible that they're going to want a location, they're going to want to kind of vet you. I don't know. This is going to be something new, but it's something to occupy my time and hopefully keep me getting benefits, because outside of food stamps, there's not. I can't consistently say that I'd be able to get food. It'd be very hit or miss. And I've now been detoxing from grass and nicotine, so my appetite has been suppressed greatly. Meaning, what I'm kind of rolling with now as far as a diet is it's called grazing, where whenever I'm hungry, I'll eat, but it won't be a lot. Maybe it'll be like a little thing of nuts. It'll be like a bagel with some avocado and maybe like some tuna packet or something. And this is affordable, right? You can go to the Dollar Tree and get tuna packets for $1.25. You can go to your local grocery store and get bagels for $1.25, $1.50, and you can get an avocado for like $1. So it's simple, it's quick, it's efficient, and I'm getting full. So I think we're gonna go back to the cut, try to get the body to not have so much bloating and water retention from all the sugar I've been indulging in, just the food in general. Try to get everything back to a balance, some form of homeostasis, get back into a decent routine. But ultimately, the decision I have to make is I don't believe I'll be staying in Monterey. It's a bit too affluent, too swanky, and I just don't really desire to be homeless. Having to stow my stuff away somewhere and just walk around aimlessly in a place I don't belong. I think you guys could understand if you're in this position. But I have this problem in which there's a giant stretch of like state parks and forest and nature preserves and stuff from here to Santa Barbara. There's no real towns interlaced along the coastline, and that's where I want to walk. I want to continue walking south. My other prospect is I can go to a town up, it's called Salinas, and then take the highway and kind of go, I don't know, I think it's like 20 miles up inland and just keep moving down that way until I hit maybe the Pacific Crest Trail and tie that into like Los Angeles or something to make my way to San Diego, which would put me right around wintertime. The issue would be food and water. Now, I haven't done long treks like that where there's nowhere to re-up on food. In fact, when you're doing the Pacific Crest Trail, you have to like ship food out there, essentials and whatnot. I don't have a water filtration system. I know you could like take a bottle and take different rocks and like sediments and stuff and do something like that or boil it. But we've got some funds. I've got around $100, and I've got to try to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I'm unfortunately going to have to keep camping. There's no shelter, so I think I need to fortify my setup a little bit better. And what I want to do is I want to grab a rainfly, the same one I suggested in that last video. It's around $20, but it's very light, it's portable, and it's going to help me, kind of keep the tent a bit more hidden and protect me from rain. As from what I heard, El Nino's coming. and it's coming right along the coastline of California this winter, so it's going to be very wet, which is good because what we had this winter was a very dry winter. Had that all around really the country, so kind of got to batten down the hatches and prepare for that, as well as getting another stove, one of those rocket stoves, titanium, little portable one. That's going to be about $50 between the two of those things, and then I should be pretty set. Maybe even grab a folding hatchet, not a hatchet, like a saw, one of those folding saws for like pruning and stuff. That's around another $20. You can grab that at Home Depot. But we realized something today, and that was as I didn't have the big bag on my back, and I'm just walking, and I'm sober. I am as close to content as I could honestly say. I have the freedom to kind of just walk around. I can take in my surroundings. I'm constantly seeing new things all the time. I'm constantly being immersed in different cultures and new architectural styles and new city layouts and town layouts and formats, and it's very interesting. It's keeping me entertained away from the banality of this existence. So because there's no concrete opportunity to plant myself anywhere, get a job, volunteer, and if I were to do that, like I've said, I need a shelter, something stable, so I can pursue those options. And again, those things are just not there. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't have the option there. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do in terms of walking. It's possible I could also use that money to get a bus ticket straight from Monterey to Santa Barbara and really cut down my trip, still getting to a nicer area. Uh, but I'd have to re up my Planet Fitness membership, and haven't taken a shower in a little bit or washed my clothes. So I don't know. We've got a lot of stuff to do. We got a lot of stuff to figure out. But the big one is have this very long stretch of just woods and nothingness, and obviously nowhere to charge your devices, nowhere to really fill up on water, pick up food. So it's going to be the real deal. I mean, I got to figure out if I'm even ready for that or if I want to do that. But we are at fortunately an existential crossroads, because I don't want to say that this whole little trek failed. It was a failure, it was a flop, but it was because I'm not really in any better of a position outside of the weather being more temperate. And there not being any junkies around. But yeah, no, the ultimate thing we were looking for was a launch pad for stability, and that's just not here. It's not in the cards. But since I've detoxed, I have a lot more clarity, a lot more energy. First and foremost, the weed definitely is a sedative. It certainly does keep your energy levels low, and it's very very noticeable when you get off. I mean, that first 24 hours, as soon as that kind of filtered itself out of my system, I woke up with the most energy I've had in a month. Felt back to my old self again, and that clarity was there too. I'm not stumbling over my words. I'm not kind of like foggy and fragmented in my memory. It's pretty nice. But sobriety isn't all it's cracked up to be, as you guys know, and it's not my favorite thing. But we're gonna roll with it for right now, as we know things are a season. Uh, Without a suppressant for my mind, that means I must wage war against the fortress of nihilism, bringing me low and causing a most repugnant version of myself to come to the surface. You see, I recorded some videos yesterday, and it was just so negative, so counterintuitive to what I'm trying to do with my life, which is kind of keep a more like positive air. As I mean, I'm already in a down and out position. I'm pretty destitute, and I'm living a life that I don't know. I don't think many people can relate to. It's certainly a product of a bygone age. There's not really anyone that you could talk to about this life without getting some form of or just this discomfort. It's not a comforting thought to be talking to someone who's homeless, even if they're backpacking and doing it kind of in a cool way. But yeah, I had to kind of deal with that turbulent mood that I was in after the detox, and I'm not gonna post those videos. Maybe I'll post some of them later, but I don't know. Right now, we're gonna keep it light and airy. We're back to chilling by the beach, walking, writing, drawing, and exercising. It's really all there is to life. This is retirement. I mean, this is as close to retirement as I'll ever get, and I'm trying to keep the gravy train rolling because I I don't desire to go back to work, and I don't foresee myself really being able to make that transition. There's just too many requirements. There's too many things barring me from even an entry level position at the moment. Even day labor, it just doesn't even seem to exist anymore. Moving forward, I'd like to lead a more active life, yet with some direction in mind, not just being aimless, right? We've been walking from town to town, and I've been kind of just going at the behest of this guy because he was the one who had done the research and knew where the shelters were, and seemingly was confident that we were gonna find something eventually. But we're so far now from where we started that there is no going back. There's no buying a bus ticket back there. It'd be like $150. It's just a waste of money. So we're gonna have to just keep moving and figure out what we're gonna do. I made this decision, and now I gotta deal with it. I gotta eat it. My I gotta really just kind of take things day to day. I've been finding that even getting up in the morning around 6, 7, wrapping the camp up around 8, and then getting a walk in, maybe getting like a little hot water for a coffee, and then chilling. It's around 10 o'clock. We do another walk or something. It's around like 1 o'clock. We sit at the library, charge your devices, do a little stuff like that. It's 5 o'clock. We get something to eat at 6, 7 o'clock. We go back to the camp, and the day's over. So time really has been just flying on by, and it's not a big deal to me because I'm trying to kill time. I mean, I have nothing productive really to do with my time. I could, oh well, just keep adding, keep drawing, keep chipping away at the exercise routine, keep making update videos and posting us and whatever, doing that kind of stuff. That's productive. You're right. It is productive. Keep the mind percolating. Any new idea, write it down. Take it to its logical conclusion and see what comes of it. Something this quiet time and reflection period is going to be very beneficial in the comrade and I. It was good for a season. Neither one of us had really been walking and trekking alone, so it's nice to do it with another person. But there's some drawbacks. There's codependency that can ensue if one person has funds or more gear than the other. There's a reliance upon another, physically speaking. Maybe you're carrying more stuff because you're physically capable. That wears you down. There's two different perspectives or two different minds at work. So you're constantly jostling between should we go here, should we go there, and you have to try to like be a peacemaker and agree on something. Most of the time, I would just kind of do what he wanted because it's easier that way. I don't see any profit to arguing when you're in such a destitute position. Like ultimately, you're trying to find a place to stay. So if one person seems to have a better idea, just follow them. If one person wants to eat something, another doesn't. I guess just eat what they want to eat. You know what I mean? Like you just find a way to become better at problem solving and just kind of accepting people the way that they are. Going with the flow, letting things just fall by the wayside. But I'm not really a people person. From my short dalliances with women, I found that they're capable of smothering me, and I do need some time alone. And that's something I haven't gotten much of in this last month and a half is time alone, time to just kind of sit and be by myself. Because we're constantly walking, and maybe you got to watch this stuff while he goes to the bathroom or get something to eat, or vice versa for myself. And we're sleeping together, finding the place. You know what I mean. Like put the mat down. He sleeps over here, I sleep over there. But it's you're constantly around each other, and for some people, that's just not really beneficial, mentally speaking. It's just very draining. You need that time alone to kind of recharge and or come back to like a balance of sorts. But, I think ultimately what I've learned from this year of homelessness is that this realm demands far too much for you. The payoff just isn't there. And if you can live a minimalistic, frugal existence, you find out that, what do you really need a lot of money for? These experiences of like going out to bars, or going to your favorite place to eat, or going to the gym, or driving in your car to this place or that, or staying in a motel. I mean, I go down the line. I mean, you all need money for this, but eventually you've done it all, and it's just you're just going through the motions. And that's what I found is I've pretty much done everything that I can do monetarily speaking in this life, in my certain class. And unless it's going to become normal, it's going to become like the new baseline, the new set standard for my life. I don't see the point in trying to get an entry level job so I can do it once or twice a month, something fun once or twice a month. It was my main problem with my stepdad and my mom when they were telling me to play the game, get a career and go into the rat races. I just saw how miserable and depressed they were, drained of energy. And then their only reasoning behind why they did it was, at least my stepdad told me this. He's like, I do it for the 2 weeks vacation, or maybe he got like a little bit more than that. But yeah, I just do it for the vacation. I get the money, I put it away, I have fun for like 2 3 weeks out of the year, and that's good enough for me. It's not good enough for me, man. Even though I'm not having much fun, I certainly would be way worse off mentally, emotionally, and probably even physically if I was doing these 40-hour, 50-hour a week jobs, being micromanaged to all hell, being around incompetent fucks, doing work I hate and despise that isn't really profiting this economy. It's ultimately wrapped up in that 90% being BS jobs, just kind of pencil pushers, just kind of greasing the gears of the machine. And we know that this a system is what it does. The system is based off of extraction. It's based off of a monetary gain at the expense of the people, which is just your goyim cattle at this point. So I can't respect this system. I don't foresee myself getting anywhere in the system. It's been 10 years of my trying to get in the trades and save up money and come up with a business of my own so I can be, more independent. And it just hasn't, I just was never really able to take off. And after trying and failing so many times and starting from scratch and, having all your savings blown because your vehicle breaks down or some medical issue comes up, there's just no motivation or really energy to draw from anymore. I just don't have that optimism for the future. I'm very cynical. I'm very pessimistic, and ultimately, I can't really plan past today. I don't have any long-term planning ability anymore because I don't have money. I don't have a routine. I have no stability. I don't hardly know what day it is unless I check my phone. I don't even know what time it is unless I check my phone. I'm very much in the moment, which you could say is the ideal. It's that Buddhist bliss. It's that Dharma. But I mean, I think it's great here and there, but ultimately we are social creatures, and without that sociability factor, without that communal role, it's a fragmented life, and that's all we're living is we're living fragments of the whole of life, which is why life feels very hollow, and you kind of feel aimless and drifting. You're drifting, and you've got more questions than answers, and you're just ultimately dissatisfied. And being as I've tried all the other avenues that this society, culture, and ultimately civilization has to offer me as a young man, and they haven't panned out in my favor. I think I'm just gonna have to continue this wandering bastard, vagrant, vagabond type lifestyle, and we're gonna have to figure it out as we go. I don't believe that I maybe you guys can like steer me otherwise, but I don't believe that if you get your frequency high enough that you're going to be ultimately put on the path to interacting with those on the same frequency, which may lead to greater opportunity and help you out in this life. I don't believe that. I believe, unfortunately, that the universe, because you are unfortunately in a loose farm hell trap, a hell realm, that when you're getting down to that breaking point, when you have almost no energy left and you're about ready to give up, and maybe in my case, you're about ready to rope, or you have thoughts of the rope, that the universe will throw you a little bone to keep you going. But that's all it is. It's a little bone. It's only there when the universe realizes that if it doesn't do something, you're going to be on the way out, or you're going to maybe do something that will disrupt the system. So the system, the universe, whatever, kind of throws you a little assistance here and there. And that's all I've gotten. Whenever I truly need help is when I get it. But it's not when I want it. It's not when I desire it. It's not in the gravity that I would require to crack slip out of the situation. It's just enough for me to get by. So I'm having to just realize that this is my life. And like I said in that last video, to deal with the impending or possible anger, depression, and apathy, you have to get to the point of radical acceptance, even if it is for a season, right? I mean, I've been told this a lot lately. Everything's a season, bro. Everything's a season. Even when we were walking, man, like it's really hard, and we're bitching and moaning, and it's not pleasant at all. But eventually, we'll have a break and a reprieve, and you won't be doing this forever. And there is some truth to that, but in this situation, because everything is there's really no safety network for myself, and society's kind of cemented in its desire to chase money and affluence and success. I don't think there's really anything for me. So I have to accept that this season is probably going to be very long. I probably will continue to be a vagrant and homeless for the, probably the rest of my life, honestly. I can't foresee how I would be given a chance out of this position. Just it's just not good. So yeah, I think that's really all I got to say. I just thought I'd give that little update, some ramblings here and there. I might even intersperse a bit of the dialogue from yesterday's videos, but just know they're going to be very negative. And if you're into that, listen. If not, tune out.